Hey everyone! It's Ariannitalagringa, and as we wrap up an amazing 2024, I'm eager to see how much your English has grown this year. And what better way to find out than with a fun English test? I'll present you with a series of questions, and you'll have 5 seconds to answer each one. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video. We'll cover 4 different levels: beginner, intermediate, advanced, and native, with 5 questions in each level. Let's get started. I'm gonna start with the first 5 sentences from the beginner level. My friend lives on Cincinnati. My friend lives at Cincinnati. Or my friend lives in Cincinnati. The correct answer is, my friend lives in Cincinnati. When you're talking about someone else or a third-person singular pronoun like he, she, or it, the verb gets an S at the end. For example, you'd say, she lives in Cincinnati. Also, we always use the preposition in when we're talking about a city. It should be in Cincinnati, not on Cincinnati. The next one is, my brother don't like coffee. My brother don't likes coffee. My brother doesn't like coffee. Which one is correct? The correct one is, my brother doesn't like coffee. To make a sentence negative in the present, you use don't with I, you, we, and they. For example, I don't, you don't, we don't, they don't. And you use doesn't with he, she, and it. He doesn't, she doesn't, it doesn't. Which one is correct? I want to eat an apple. I want to eat an apple. I want to eat an apple. If you said, I want to eat an apple, you're correct. An is used before words that begin with a vowel sound, even if the actual letter is a consonant. For example, you can say, this is an apple, or this is an herb. Can you guess this next one? Did you go to college? Did you went to college? Did you goes to college? The correct answer is, did you go to college? Did is the past tense of the auxiliary verb do. We often use did when we ask questions about the past. When you use did, it's like saying it already happened. So the main verb go doesn't change its form. Let's see if you can guess the next one. I born in 2001. I was born in 2001. I borned in 2001. The correct one is, I was born in 2001. We use the word was when we are talking about being born in the past for I, he, she, or it. For example, I was born in 2001. He was born in 1990. We would use the word were if we're saying you, we, or they. For example, you were born in 1950. Now, how are you doing so far? If you got 3 out of 5 correct, that means you passed the beginner test. Now let's move on to the intermediate level. The next one is, drinking water is good. Drink water is good. Drink water is good. The correct one is, drinking water is good. When a sentence begins with an action verb, you need to use the ing version of that word. So, drinking water is good is correct. Drinking is a special form of the verb called a gerund. Gerund is a verb form that functions as a noun, and it ends in ing. In the correct context, writing, walking, and talking can sometimes function as a noun if they end in ing. Which one is correct? They go to work in bus. They go to work by bus. They go to work on bus. The correct one is, they go to work by bus. When you talk about how someone travels, you say, They go to work by bus. We use by when we're talking about the way someone gets around, like by car, or by train, or by bus. Saying he goes to work on bus is wrong. You would say on the bus if you were talking about a specific bus, like they go to work on bus number 10. The next phrase is, I want to go to home. I want to go home. I want to go to the home. Which one's correct? The correct one is, I want to go home. So when you say you want to go to your place, you say, I want to go home. You don't need to say, I want to go to home. Home is functioning as an adverb in this sentence, and it tells us where you're going. Also, when home is used as an adverb, the preposition to is not necessary. And I want to go to the home is incorrect unless you are referring to a specific building or institution. For example, you can say, I want to go to the movies, because you're referring to a specific place. The fourth one is, I'm married to a doctor. I'm married with a doctor. I'm married within a doctor. Which one's correct? The correct one is, I'm married to a doctor. When you're talking about someone's marriage, you should say the correct preposition, married to. The other options are incorrect. Can you tell me which phrase is correct? I just eat dinner. I just have dinner. I just had dinner. The correct one is, I just had dinner. So when you want to say you just finished eating dinner, you say, I just had dinner. Had is the past tense of have, and we use it with just to show that eating dinner happened very recently. How was this test for you? Difficult? Easy? Let me know in the comments. If you got 3 out of 5 correct, that means you passed the intermediate test. Now let's move on to the advanced level. So in this level, the sentences start to get a lot harder. The first one is, you many trips have had this year. You have had many trips this year. You had have many trips this year. Which one is the right one? The correct one is, you have had many trips this year. If you want to say that you've taken a lot of trips this year, you should say, you have had many trips this year. Have had is the correct way to say the present perfect tense of the verb to have, and it's used to talk about things that started in the past but are still important now. This one might be a little bit tricky. Did you finish your homework? Have you got finished your homework? Have you finished your homework? There are 2 correct answers. Did you finish your homework? And have you finished your homework? If you said, did you finish your homework? Or have you finished your homework? Both are correct. Did you finish your homework is the most common way to ask if someone finished their homework. And another way to ask is, have you finished your homework? It implies that you're concerned about whether it's completed and that it's important at this moment. Can you guess the next one? I look forward you to meet. I look forward to meet you. I look forward to meeting you. If you said, I look forward to meeting you, you're correct. If you want to say you're excited about meeting someone, you say, I look forward to meeting you. Look forward to always has to be followed by the ing version of a verb called a gerund. So meeting is correct here. Which one is correct? I'm good at English. I'm good in English. I'm good on English. If you said, I'm good at English, you're correct. So if you want to say that you have a talent for English, you can say, I'm good at English. When you talk about being good at something, we usually say good at. Can you guess the next one? The dog barked loudly at the mailman. The dog barked loudly to the mailman. The dog barks loud at the mailman. The correct answer is, The dog barked loudly at the mailman. At shows the direction of the barking, whereas to would sound like the dog was talking to him. And barks is wrong since the dog is singular, just one. So we have to say barked. How was the last test for you? If you got 3 out of 5 correct, that means you passed the advanced test. Now let's move on to the last level, native. This level is going to be a little bit different. You'll see why. Question number 1. What's the slang term for American dollars? Bucks, box, boss. The correct answer is bucks. Bucks is slang for the US dollar. 1 buck means 1 US dollar. You can say things like, that costs $5, or I need a few bucks for lunch. It's just a casual way to talk about money. Now, I'm curious, what are some slang terms for money in your country? For instance, are there any nicknames for the Chinese yuan or Mexican pesos? Comment down below. Question number 2 is, what does the texting abbreviation TTYL mean? Talk to you later, talk to you loud, to take you long. TTYL means talk to you later. People use it in text as an easy way to say bye. Question number 3 is, what is the slang term used to refer to a guy or a man? Dude, duck, human. Dude is a common slang term used to refer to a man or a guy. My doctor is a really cool dude. The next question is, what is the meaning of hold your horses? To eat, to hurry up, or to wait? The correct answer is to wait. Hold your horses is an idiom that means wait, slow down, or be patient. It comes from horseback riding, when a rider would literally hold the reins to control the horse and stop it from going too fast. And the last question is, what is the informal abbreviation of I'm not, are not, is not, and don't have? I'mt, ain't, ain't. The correct one is ain't with the apostrophe between the N and the T. Ain't is a common informal contraction that is often used in everyday speech, like in movies, music, etc., but it's generally not considered proper. It can mean is not or don't have. For example, she ain't from Chicago means she isn't from Chicago, and I ain't got time for that means I don't have time for that. Okay, everybody, this is the end of the English test video. I hope you guys got a lot of them correct if you guys have been watching my videos. Thank you guys again for watching my videos throughout this year, and I'll see you guys next year. Bye!